start off thinking about making choices. Every day we make choices. Hands up, who decided this morning to have toast for breakfast? Okay, just two. Who decided to have cake for breakfast? A lot more people. That was a much more popular choice. Who decided this morning to wear something that has the colour blue? Again, lots of people. So, a very popular choice. I want the kids to come up and make a choice this morning. Under these cups, there are little gifts. So I'm sure you all like gifts. Or maybe you decide, actually, I don't want a gift. Not you. Right, so one at a time, you can all come up. All kids come up. Come on, don't be shy. There's a gift. Come on, Pasha. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is put your finger on one cup. You choose. Right, that's all. You choose first. One cup. Okay, so this is going to be your gift. You ready? Did you bring it away? There you go. Is that a good choice? Yeah, okay. So you put it down here. Okay, Kina, put your finger on one cup. This one, okay? Oh, Kina gets a pie. Well done, Kina. Right, watch out. One gift you're going to choose. Ah! There's nothing under that one. Don't worry, Artem, I get your second choice. Which one? There you go. You find something. Alright, which one are you going to choose? This one. You get the Easter egg! Are you happy with the choice that you made? Everybody's eventually got something. That's great. So, every day in life we make choices. And lots of the choices that we make don't really matter. It doesn't matter if you wear something blue or you wear something red. It doesn't really matter. You might decide to have toast or cake. Well, you might get fat if you have cake, or maybe have toast or whatever. But, you know, a little bit now and again doesn't do you any harm. But you have a choice. But sometimes choices and decisions can be a little bit harder. I want you to watch a video for a minute. This is a video, a Disney movie. You all like Disney movies yet? Mm-hmm. We're going to watch a bit out of the Disney movie. Who likes Frozen? Who likes Frozen? You might be ready to do this bit then. Don't let me down. Technology. Here we go. So that was Olaf and Sven. Olaf and Sven both wanted the carrot. The carrot ended up right in the middle between them, and they both tried really, really hard to get that carrot, Olaf needed the carrot because it was his nose. He really, really, really needed to get that carrot. But Sven, well, carrots are his favourite. And it looked so nice. It was crunchy, a little bit juicy, just perfect to eat. And eventually Sven was the one who was able to get the carrot. But then he made a difficult choice. But he chose the right thing. He gave the carrot back to Olaf because he needed it for his nose. So it was a difficult choice because Sven got the carrot. It was the carrot he really wanted. He really wanted to eat it. It was just ready for him to eat. And he thought, no, I'm going to do the right thing. And he gave it to his friend Olaf. Today we're going to hear about Esther. Remember we started our story of Esther last week? And we're going to find out how Esther had to make a difficult decision. And we're going to find out how she made the right decision. Esther, if you remember last week, had just been made queen. But she had a secret. Do you remember what it was? Do you remember? She was a Jew. Do you remember? And Mordecai, her cousin who looked after her, had said to her, keep that a secret. Don't tell anyone you're a Jew. Now, I don't really know why he said that, but I think maybe it was because at that time, Jews in that country, people didn't really like them very much, and sometimes they weren't treated very well. And Mordecai knew that now that Esther was going to be living in the palace, he wouldn't be around to protect her. So he advised her to keep it a secret. But he didn't keep that a secret about himself. No, he continued loving God, worshipping God, and obeying God's command, even when he was the only one. It happened like this. You remember also at the end of last week's story, Mordecai heard about a plot to kill the king, and he reported it, and because of that, the king's life was saved. The two royal officials, who were the people that had been plotting to kill the king, they were put to death, and all of that was written in the palace records. And after that, the king needed to reorganize all his officials, so he chose Haman, a man called Haman, and he promoted him to be second in command. In fact, he was really in charge of everything, but he was just underneath the king. So he was very, very important. He was famous, he was rich, he was important, and he loved himself. He absolutely loved the fact that he was so important. And even the king had said that everyone else must bow down every time Haman comes past. So every day Haman would be out walking about in the court, and people would bow down, and everybody would bow down because they knew that's what the king had said they must do. Everyone did it except Mordecai. He refused. He didn't do it. And every day Haman would be coming along, and the other officials would say to Mordecai, come on Mordecai, here comes Haman, we have to bow down. And every day Mordecai refused. He wouldn't do it. And eventually they asked Mordecai, why do you not bow down? The king has said you must do it and you're not doing it. Why? And he explained that he was a Jew. He loved God. He wanted to obey God. And one of God's rules was that he must not bow down to anyone except God. So the officials reported this back to Haman, and he said, do you know that man Mordecai? He won't bow down to you, and the reason is he loves God. He's a Jew, he loves God, and he won't bow down to anyone but God, and he certainly won't bow down to you. Well, Haman thought, who does he think he is? Even the king said he should do it, and he's not doing it. Does he not see how important I am? And Haman said to himself, if I was just a junior officer, I'd have him killed. But I'm so important. I'm much more important than anyone else. Only the king is more important than me. So we see all those Jews, not just Mordecai. I'm going to have them all killed. I hate them all. They all must die. And Haman went and spoke to the king about it. And he said, King Xerxes, there are Jews living in your country, and they're not obeying all your laws. I don't think you should let that happen. I think you should have them all killed. Well, King Xerxes just thought, well, Haman's in charge of everything, I'll just let him do his own thing. So he said, that's fine, you make the law, I'll give you my signet ring, you can put my stamp on it, and whatever you think is the right thing to do, that's what we'll do. So the king agreed to let Haman make that a law. So he got all the laws all written out. In those days, you couldn't send an email or anything like that. They all had to be written out and stamped so that everyone knew the law came from the king himself. And it was sent out to all the towns and cities. And it said on it, on the 13th day of the 12th month, all Jews must be killed. The law was made. Haman and the king sat down to relax and celebrate. But all the Jews, you can imagine, they were frightened and they were so sad. How could this happen to us? We're God's people. They were so sad. And in those days, if they were sad, they put on something called sackcloth. It's clothing, or just like a piece of sackcloth. It's itchy, it's rough, it's horrible to wear. They did that and they marked themselves with ashes. And that was a sign of how sad they were. When Esther heard that Mordecai was wearing sackcloth and ashes, she sent him some lovely new robes from the palace. And put those on. Mordecai refused. And he explained why he was so sad. He told Esther about the plan to have all the Jews killed. And he said, Esther, you must go and speak to the king. Well, Esther sent a message back to Mordecai, and she said, everybody knows in this land there is a law. No one can go in and speak to the king unless they're invited. And that law even applies to me, the queen, and I haven't been speaking to the king for so many days, I can't just go in. Because the law is that if I go in to speak to the king, I could be killed because it's against the law. And she said, well, there's just one thing. There's a very small chance if the king holds out his golden scepter, then that's a sign that he would be willing to listen to me. But Mordecai, it's a huge risk. I don't know, can I really do this? It's a big risk. And Mordecai said to Esther, maybe you are in the palace right now. God has placed you there exactly for this time. Maybe this is the very reason that God allowed you to become queen. And think about it. You were a Jewish orphan girl, and now you're queen. Maybe this is God's plan, so that you are in the right place to be able to help all of the Jews, not just us. Esther knew that if she was going to do it, she would need to have God on her side. She would need to know that God was with her. So she said, Mordecai, you get all the Jews in the city, get them together, and fast and pray for 3 days. And while you're doing that, I will get my maids together and we will fast and pray for 3 days. And then she said, I'll do it. I'll go to the king, and if I die, I die. But she trusted that God would go with her. And we'll find out next week what happened. But Esther was able to make that difficult decision, even though she still at this point knows there's a chance that she might die. She chose to do the right thing. And how did she make that choice? She asked God to help her. She asked for other people to pray also that God would help her and give her the courage to go and speak to the king. So like we said at the start, you have lots of choices to make in life. Many of them don't really matter. It doesn't matter whether you wear a Mickey Mouse jumper or black trainers, or you can wear whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. But maybe things like, what school am I going to go to next? Who's going to be my friend? Should I be friends with this person? Sometimes they don't do things that I like, and I know I shouldn't do that. So do I walk away, or do I just do it because everybody else does it? Everybody else wears blue, so I wear blue. It doesn't work like that. But what you can do, if you're ever faced with a difficult choice, something you have to make a decision, you're not sure what to do, follow Esther's example. Pray. Ask God to help you. Ask God to be with you. Ask other people to pray as well. Ask your mum or dad or another Christian friend to pray for you as well, so that you will make the right choice. It's all about making the right choices with God's help. And next week we'll find out what happens to Esther now that she has made the right choice. So we're going to sing everything, there's anything else we could sing, but be brave, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. And you probably know the actions better than I do, but we'll all do it together. Ready?
Be bold, be strong, for the Lord our God is with you. Be bold, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. I am not afraid, no, 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 I am not afraid, no way. I'm walking in faith and victory, I'm walking in faith and victory, for the Lord your God is with you. Be bold, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. Be bold, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. I am not afraid, no, 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 I am not afraid, nothing. I'm walking in faith and victory, I'm walking in faith and victory, for the Lord your God is with you. Janice is going to make us the very first time.